Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sean Spicer making the same point in 4 minutes instead of 3.5. Now, they jump through the whole thing. They go this, and then she leaves.
Well, apparently she's not going to condemn the violence.
Apparently she's not going to answer the question of an inserious asshole who would give a round of applause to Bill O'Reilly for saying Tiller the baby killer.
Pro-life groups and pregnancy centers are bracing for a night of rage as the violent group Jane...
A night of rage. The Sean Spicer's Nights of Rage. It sounds like a cologne.
Revenge vows action. But you...
What? On the what? Who does what?
A night of rage as the violent group Jane's Revenge vows action.
The violent group Jane's Revenge vows action. Jane says... All right.
But you saw there, Congresswoman...
I'm done with Sergio. He treats me like a rag doll.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez refusing to condemn these threats of violence.
Yeah. And trying to use the idea that she's in mid-conversation or talking to serious reporters as an excuse. Please tell me that Sean Spicer has the actual reporter that was asking those questions in studio. And did we ever find out if Don Jr. was right next to her and that's who groped her?
Joining us now is Penny Nance, the president and CEO of Concerned Women for America.
Concerned Women for America, the CWA.
Her offices, by the way, were vandalized back in May.
With Botox darts? They smashed all her lip filler. I'm kidding.
Penny, good to see you.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what's happening with organizations like yours in terms of threats that you're facing.
And by the way, where did you get your lights from? Because in October, the haunted houses are going to want them back.
Steps that you're taking in advance of these threats.
Well, first, Sean, I just want to thank you for having me on and say this is an amazing day. We're so appreciative that Donald Trump appointed 3 constitutionalist judges, and we're grateful for...
Well, don't forget to give credit where credit is due. All the progressives and liberals who didn't show up to vote, and while Hillary was able to get the popular vote win, lose the electoral college because they were like, nah, fuck it. Because those people are really who we have to blame. Because he said he was going to do this. And they were like, really? I don't know.
For the women that came before us, that walked the halls of Congress and came to the March for Life with their children on their hips and advocated for this day, taking women into their home and showing alternatives and caring for the least of these. But yes, you're right.
But yes, so true. Here's our spa.
We have been targeted. Our building was vandalized. You were one of the first people to show the actual video in which
they took your Ring doorbell.
Someone, urinated on our door and exposed himself. And so we've...
Whoa. Does anybody know where Greg Kelly is?
Been involved in local police. We made a report of a hate crime to the FBI, which they have yet to have followed up on. But
well, it's a little hard to test urine for hate, I will say. I will say that a lot of guys who publicly urinate it's hard for them to do it without also exposing themselves. I'm just guessing. I don't know what neighborhood you're in, but
we are working closely.
By the way, don't do that. For all the she won't condemn the violence, blah blah blah, because they were yelling it and she was in an interview. I'll do it. I condemn violence, in political violence in any form. Do not harm anyone or destroy property because of your political fortunes or the beliefs of another person, religious or otherwise. Don't do it. Do not. Doesn't help, and it's wrong. So there, I fully and unequivocally condemn that behavior. As a duly designated representative of all that is good in the world, a dyed-the-wool Democrat who will be voting this fall for a straight blue ticket, I condemn the violence.
With the local police weeks.
Or any threat of violence. How about that? Even suggesting it You guys know I can be a dick about it. I don't even let you joke about it sometimes.
We expect resolution pretty quickly, but it's not just us. As you've noted, pregnancy care centers around the country.
Pregnancy care centers
Have been.
No, I don't think she means hospitals.
Targeted. These people are violent. It's a domestic terrorist group.
Okay.
We expect the federal government to do his job. And we and other pro-life organizations are spending, our hard-raised donors' money.
Our hard-raised donors' money.
By paying for security. We have armed security in our office. We have not taken any chances with our...
Yeah, weird. Have you seen the security that abortion clinics have had to go through over the last few years? I'm sorry, you're concerned about some rando dude whipping his dick out and urinating on your building? I got news for you. That happens in most big cities. But I think the family of George Tiller might want a word as far as what you think the threat it is. What fuck you in the least of these? Well, no.
Our employees. I will not take any chances with our employees. But let me just be very clear.
Yeah.
We will never back down. They can do their worst. It does not matter. We are speaking on behalf.
Well, that's because they're not really going to do anything. You can tell these folks are not genuinely, they're not really afraid. And I know what you're thinking. Steven Tyler looks fantastic. Quit it.
Half of those who have no voice, and we will never stop.
Patty, I think the point you made can't be underscored because it's getting lost.
Can't be underscored? Apparently he went to the same colloquialism and analogy camp that Don Jr. went to. Can't be underscored?
In today's day, Donald Trump said...
In today's day? Jesus Christ. This guy he was the spokesperson for the Trump administration.
Patty, I think the point you made can't be underscored because it's getting lost in today's day.
Can't be underscored because it's being lost in today's date.
Donald Trump said he would appoint judges that would do this, and he did it. And I feel
right. Hey, Sean, you know what? You mind if I send this clip over to TYT and those crowds right now? He said he was going to do it. You're like, I don't know.
I feel like to some degree it's getting lost in discussion, and I'm really glad you brought it up.
Yes, thank you. I thanked several people right outside the court moments after the decision came down, and the president was one of those. Our women.
Oh, by the way, this is totally in line with both what Clarence Thomas wants to do and the fact that they are, Rick Scott put out this sort of baseline, like a Republican contract for America's future thing where they're going to sunset every law or program every 5 years and have to re-vote on it as a way of getting rid of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Women who came out for our Women for Kavanaugh rallies, our
Yeah, you heard that right.
Bus Tour, Women for Amy, and advocated for Neil Gorsuch. All of them have a great bit of joy today. And
a great bit of joy today.
Work so hard, but it goes way before this, Sean, as you well know.
It goes way before this.
You and I have known each other for a long time in the trenches, and it was all the people that stood outside the polling offices giving information on candidate surveys, and all the women who were with their babies advocating on life. I mean, some of them are in heaven now. So we're just incredibly grateful.
Well, I'll tell you what, Penny Nance, this is a big night. I hope you and all the women and supporters and donors at Concerned Women for America take a moment tonight to celebrate. This is a huge night for the movement.
Yes,
it is. This is so wonderful. That's by the way, it's just basically this interview.
And for the number of lives that you will save. So thank you for joining.
And by the way, Jane's Revenge is apparently the group that is doing the violence. Is that what we're talking? Whoops, sorry. Jane's Revenge. I put James Revenge, which sounds like a great band name, by the way. Jane's Revenge. Boyd mentioned Jane's Revenge. Okay, Fox News have analyzed graffiti sites. Jane's Revenge. Continues to target churches and pro-life reserves. Why? That's the National Review of Graffiti. If abortion isn't safe, neither are you. This is Jane's revenge. The time is now. Stand up. Okay, so they've actually got a. Honestly, I don't even know if this is real. This is what Jane says. I'm done with Sergio. Yeah, so if abortions aren't safe, neither are you. There's an anarchy symbol. Okay, so not Democrats. The idea is sprayed with blood. For the allies of ours who doubt the authenticity of the communiques and actions, there is a way you can get irrefutable proof these actions are real. Go do one of your own. You are really one of us. Everyone with the urge to paint, to burn, to cut, to jam. Now is the time. Go forth and manifest these things. It says Jane's revenge. Jane was here. You've seen that we are real. We're not merely pushing empty words. We say we're not one group, but many. Have seen us in Madison, the various cells. You've seen the proliferating messages in graffiti and elsewhere. You know we are serious. We are unsurprised to see 30 days come and 30 days pass with no sign of consilience or even bare minimum or self-reflection from you who impersonate healthcare providers in order to harm the vulnerable. Okay, so they're attacking these places that pretend to be, like abortion providers, effectively. That's the idea, is that they're spraying them with stuff. So Jane was here, that kind of thing. Your 30 days expired yesterday. You offered an honorable way out. You have walked away. Now the leash is off, and we will make it as hard as possible for your campaign of oppression to continue. We have demonstrated in the past month how easy and fun it is to attack. We are versatile. We are mercurial. We answer to no one but ourselves. We promise to take increasingly drastic measures against oppressive infrastructures. Rest assured that we will, and those measures may not come in the form of something so easily cleaned up as fire and graffiti. Sometimes you'll see what we do and you will know that it is us. Sometimes you will think you merely are unlucky because you cannot see the ways we interfere in your affairs, but your pointless attempts to control others. This is like an online manifesto. We need the state to feel our full wrath. Your anger has been stolen from you. If we do this, we say no more. We need to get angry. We need them to be afraid of us. Last week, an evil creature slaughtered 19 children and 2 teachers in their classroom in Texas. While some may call this horrific act senseless or random, we know it's not the case. We know this was an act of male domination and patriarchal violence meant to make women, children, and teachers live in fear. We know it is deeply connected to the reproductive violence about to be unleashed by this land. Okay, so they're just tying these together. Whatever form your fury takes, the first step is feeling it. Consider this your call to action. We must also say, do not wait until the verdict arrives to organize. I guess they posted this earlier. And a lot of anarchy stuff. Headquarters of an anti-abortion group in Madison, Wisconsin was set on fire on Sunday morning and by a Molotov cocktail attack by anarchists. The following is their communique. Okay, so this is not a declaration of war. War has been upon us for decades, a war which we do not want and did not provoke. Too long we've been attacked for asking for basic medical care. Too long we've been shot, bombed, and forced into childbirth without consent. This was only a warning. We demand the disbanding of all anti-choice establishments, fake clinics, and violent anti-choice groups within the next 30 days. This is not a okay, so that's the 30-day thing. You're forced to adopt the minimum military requirement for a political struggle. Again, this was only a warning. Next time, the infrastructure of the enslavers will not survive. The infrastructure will not survive. Okay. Medical imperialism will not face a passive enemy. Wisconsin is the first flashpoint. We're all over the U.S., and we will issue no further warnings. We will not stop. Blah, 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 Jane's revenge. Okay. So that's the group that they're talking about, which, since anybody can have a web page today, yawn. Also, again, condemn it. Don't, I'm not for it. Anarchy's not the answer. And there you go. I think they're, I guess it's a reference to Jane, Jane wrote, yeah, it is an unwise tactic. Yeah, Jane's revenge shot JR.
Joining us, and thanks for fighting
Sean.
for this.
Thank you.
Okay, that was that. But that's been, oh, I live with Jeffrey Epstein on my wall. So yeah, so that's it's creeping me out. All right, but that made the rounds. So that talking point, and you know what the fun part about those kind of talking points is, it's a kind of a good lesson in the comings and goings of crap talking points. Yeah. Oklahoma, where the... All right. Sorry, we have to move on at some point. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. They put these clips up. I just answer them. I didn't cut these pieces down. I didn't shorten these things. I didn't put these up. They did. And they thought that these are exemplary of solid talking points. That these are the things that, need be said. Now, let's see. Yeah, good. I think I have time for both of these. I got to keep it high and tight, though. Keep me on a schedule, guys, because there's so much to cover. And then I've got to turn off the... no, on this guy. I got to go to here. We'll go back to this one. So, let's get off topic for a split second, because I think we all recognize how important... Thank you, Benny Loco. I know you get mad at me when I advocate for the system that protects everybody, even when it doesn't, because it's about shepherdship, not the system itself. And I'm committed to making the democracy work. That's just where I come from. Thank you. Say what? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show. Bits, subscriptions. Stars if you're on Facebook. Come on, Facebook. You guys can bring up the rear. I have to say, in the insights world, the people that contribute the least, of course, are Twitter, because there is no method for contribution. But of the 3 sites that people can contribute to the show, Facebook is a hard lagger, and it's partly because it's complicated. It's the stars thing is weird. It's like a clunky version of the bits on Twitch, which are way easier to figure out. And I recognize that. So if you got a PayPal account, hopefully that strikes your fancy.